Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the NXL Paintball live stream here on the Premier Field at Kissimmee, Florida. We have had a great turn of events in terms of the weather is concerned. I'm hoping that we don't have any more rain like we did that last series. Yep. But thank you again, guys, for joining us. We have an awesome series here for the semifinals for D4, it looks like, against Texas Titans and Maui Mixed Plate. Haven't heard that name yet, but unfortunately I haven't had a chance to watch every game, which I would if I could. If I could be in everywhere at once, I would absolutely be. Yep. So I'm curious to see again how this division plays out on this layout. It's interesting, as the higher divisions you go, we see that teams typically break pretty conservatively, but the lower divisions you go, they end up breaking out pretty wide. So I'd be curious to see if we have some kind of crazy breakouts here to start. Again, I'm a big believer in breaking out wide and gathering the data that you need to figure out how to beat your opponents in this series. So it looks like we're getting a little bit of a switcheroo off the start with an emphasis going towards the Dorito side. I'm now joined by Matt, the Gym Rat. Thank you so much for joining me for this D4 X-Ball semifinals as a player gets chopped up on Maui Mixed Plate out of the snake side, making it a 2-on-1 situation. Not in their favor, but still a relatively
there's another guy at
move.
the center. So it looks like Maui has 3 guys left.
Oh, man, and a huge move coming in for Texas Titans as a way to close and capitalize on their advantages. They eliminate another player, it looks like. I believe it's a 5-on-3 situation in favor for Texas Titans as they're trying to close out the game in the middle field. But Maui makes a huge move up the middle of that can and then gets chopped up as they do so.
Got to commit.
Absolutely. When you run through those gaps, man, you got to do so with your gun up, and you got to do it fast.
Yep, and there's one player left for Maui. And he gets pieced out.
Chopped up. Much different game. I know you're just joining us here now, Matt, but much different first game than we saw in the D3 X-Ball semifinals. That game, just so you know, literally the first point took like 8 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It was 0-0 with I think something crazy like 4 minutes left in that first set. And it was a pretty crazy series. Good job to those teams again for making it to the finals. But I'm really curious to see, again, how D4 plays this layout. You know, one of the things that you notice between each division is the lack of discipline in holding zones, allowing people to break out. You know, after the breakout, anything is possible. And what I always tell lower division teams is, hey, man, if you want to win, shoot a lot more paint than you're used to. Yep. Hold those zones. Don't let people break out, and you'll have a lot more success.
Yes, yeah. And I think we've seen it a couple times this weekend where people completely run out of paint because they've been holding these zones. The field does slow down a lot. So finding those holes.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we have the Farm D4 and TPP 2.0 out here on the field. Again, congratulations to these teams for making it this far, but you certainly don't want to lose now. You want to make it to the finals. You want to make a name for yourself here at the largest NXL event in history with somewhere around, I think it's north of 700 teams signing up for this event. Despite the crazy weather, despite the cancellations getting here, we still had a lot of dedicated teams making it out. It's been a wonderful weekend. We're going to see how these teams choose to break out. And that very first point, one of the crucial points in a series is that very first point. Looks like we're going to have a straight up the middle push for the Farm as they shoot Dorito side and losing their snake side juice box player, but able to make it out wide to hopefully contain the snake. I'm not sure if any bodies have dropped for TPP. It looks like 5 alive.
Yep, it does look like they have 5 alive.
Awesome job for them then. It looks like we're getting a pretty typical cross-up from that mini wall for TPP.
Yeah, actually, no, they did lose their white guy on their snake side.
Okay, so is it a 4-on-4 situation then?
Yes, it's a 4-on-4.
All right, well, it looks like the Farm has a little bit better positioning on the snake side. However, just as I say that, TPP tries to break out, and they lose their snake side juice box. Now, as a response to that, the Farm pushing up into the snake. Now, in this situation, unfortunately, he has to pause to pod up, but you really want to sort down that snake side if there's nobody heads up. You just need to make sure that somebody doesn't let anybody break out and kill you as you do so. But it looks like now TPP breaking out to that snake side wedge, initially looking heads up and now looking for that middle wall guy as the Farm still has that player there looking to close out this point.
Yeah, so right now the Farm has the ball with them having the snake presence, and he can take his time right now. He understands the field positioning he has. He already shot the guy that tried to fill it out. He's got kill 2 on the snake side, and he's taking his time. This is John. I've played with John before, so John is a very good, very aggressive player. And as you see right here, he's taking his field advantage. The farm has all their guys in the 50, but they just lost their Dorito guy.
Oh, he's about to chop up this guy in the snake side wedge as he pushes up the snake. I believe it's a trade, but that's all they really need in this situation when they're up so many bodies. I believe that's going to do it here.
So the farm might have
I believe
two guys left. Yep, the guy in the Dorito and then a guy at the center 15. I believe it's a 2-on-1.
I'm not sure where the TPP guy is left. I thought they had... There we go. Yeah, I think they may have killed everybody. Just waiting for that towel to be thrown. Congrats to the farmer for winning that first point. Now, it's really important that you figure out what your opponents did, what risks they took. And from there, you need to decide, are they going to run that same risk? Are they going to pull up conservative? Or are they going to take the risk on the opposite side of the field? That's, at least as a coach, what you really need to kind of guess, just given the fact that you only have 1 point to work with. Now as we go in here to this next series, Texas Titans up 1 over Maui Mixed Plate. 10 minutes and 43 seconds left on the clock. Still plenty of time to work with. Again, really don't have a huge sample size of how teams break out, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a conservative breakout from both of these teams, as there really isn't that big of an advantage going on right now. So lots of interesting plays happening up the middle. As we talked about in the last series for the D3 semifinals, some teams just kind of get in their head when chaos happens. You know, it seems to be that there's going to be a lot of chaos in this series. When that happens, you got to slow down and put it together before you make big moves. So, looks like we're watching the breakout for Titans here as they send their player up the middle towards that snake side wedge and losing a Dorito player as he tries to make it out. Now in a 4-on-5 situation in favor for Maui Mixed Plate. And I believe that is 5 bodies alive for them still. So good job for them for staying alive. I believe there's a snake corner for Maui Mixed Plate. And it looks like that wall may have gotten chopped up. He did, in fact, get chopped up. Unfortunate for him. So it looks like Maui Mixed Plate is actually down 2 players right now. As Titans pushes up the middle in response to that kill, looking for those bodies. That's a really dangerous move. Dangerous for both players, really. If you're expecting it, you can drop balls in on that guy as he tries to peek up over the top, but you can also surprise people as you're looking for those loaders when you do so. Yeah,
and Titans are getting aggressive. They've got both of their wide guys moving. They just lost their back center player.
Man, I'm not sure who got him, but they do have great snake presence looking crossfield, trying to shoot the Dorito side tower, but he's playing pretty tight. If he does look on the inside here, he might get plucked out, but we'll see. Looks like Maui Mixed Plate has 3 bodies alive, and now we're seeing the Titans player on the Dorito side making a push.
Yep. They just got the Dorito guy for Maui. They have another guy that fills in, though. I don't think anyone saw him. So Maui's got a snake corner and also the Dorito player. The Titans have a Dorito, a snake, and then also the center 50.
Yeah, this is a pretty good situation if you're in Titans' shoes. You've got a lot of midfield control. You're just really kind of hoping people make mistakes without having to risk too many bodies, especially when you're up 1-0. You don't have to come to them really aggressively. You can kind of wait till people make mistakes, get a little nervous. So it does look like the snake player is trying to do a lot of work for Titans right now, where I really think the ball might be in the Dorito side player's hands. I'm not sure who's stopping him on the Dorito side here.
Yeah. But and look for the center to get crafty here.
Yeah, this is a good look for him.
Oh. The snake player gets dinked out.
Just as we're watching this player move up the middle to try and close out this point, Titans loses their snake player. I believe it's a 2-on-2 situation with Maui Mixed Plate having pretty good wide coverage here. This middle player is now in kind of a tight situation. If he doesn't pluck someone out here soon, he might get pitched out as he gets called out. But he's getting shot from the Dorito side. So they do have a cross-up going on for Maui Mixed Plate as they alternate every so often to try and find this middle player. The Dorito side player for Titans needs to do something here to help save his player out of the middle, because otherwise this guy's getting shot at by 2 people. Huge move from Titans. Here. Yeah.
Let's see, does it pay off? He gets the Maui player. Is it a 1-on-1?
It's a 2-on-1.
It's a 2-on-1. He lives.
Fills out to the corner as they're trying to pinch out this Maui Mixed Plate player, and the guy from the middle makes the big move here. That's going to seal the deal for Titans so long as the Dorito side corner stays alive, which it looks like they do. Man, they had much better positioning than them despite that, only living with 1 player left, but now going up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, and I would say that's a great aggressive play by the Titans. Even though getting dinked out, their players were taking the ground they were given and really capitalizing on it. And then it was a 1-2 punch. One player would go up, the next player would follow up whenever the guns were drawn away, and that was a really good way to kind of dig them out of those spots. Having the Titans having Maui on their heels was huge there, because that really put them at an advantage, already being up by 1, and then now getting up by 2. Now this is the hard part where Maui has to fight back and really get back into this game.
Yeah, so if you're Maui, are you risking that next play? Are you trying to take some ground early, or are you going to still play conservative and hope something happens?
No, I'm risking it. I mean, because if you give them this, I would risk 1 body. It'd be on the Dorito side, because I feel like that's where they can get the most the ground for free. And then after that, I would definitely have somebody funneling into the snake, because the snake, as we saw this weekend, is very lethal if you can get into it.
Absolutely. So now we get started here with the Farm versus TPP. Farm up by 1 point with 10 minutes and 10 seconds left. It looks like they're going to emphasize the Dorito with the middle player looking that way. And I believe they're going to take that snake corner as they do. And also diving in Dorito 1. Risks on either side of the field, a little unconventional, but it looks like they stay 5 alive. In fact, both teams appear to have not lost a single player off the break. So I'm sure we're going to have a long, drawn-out point as the TPP player is asking for a paint check over in that mini wall over on the Dorito side. We're now getting a glimpse of the Farm as they're holding down the snake side with 2 guns heads up, and the middle wall baiting out the Dorito push. That's a really hard thing to dig out. You have to know as a Dorito player where that middle guy's looking. Otherwise, you're just going to run into a gun, really.
Yep, 100%, yeah. And the good thing for TPP here is that this snake player really only has to put in 1 person to go. So once he recognizes that, he will be able to get into the snake. The only problem is that the Farm has a snake corner, so once he gets in there, there's not much that he can do to be effective besides posting up on the inside.
Yeah, it looks like the Farm, despite it being, I believe, still a 5-on-5, have superior positioning. And just as I say that, they actually get into the snake, I believe, alive, it looks like. So, yeah, they are starting to seal the deal here, at least little by little. Hopefully they don't lose any bodies making silly moves. But I do believe TPP is trying to make a Dorito side push, given that they're a little bit behind on the snake. But now, as I say that, TPP, their front snake player, is trying to find the widest guy who's stopping him to match this snake player, as we now see on your screen, moving up to that snake 1. You're not really rewarded with very many kills here, so you can really hold gaps from the Dorito side, but really you're trying to get to that snake 50 as fast as you can, because when you do, that's when you start producing kills.
Yes. And then it puts the whole other team on red alert. They're all worried about it now.
Now we're going to pay attention to how many guns are looking that way. And as we can see, there's at least 3 heads looking there, 2 guns looking that way. Now 3 guns looking that way, only 1 covering Dorito side. We might see 4 guns looking to snake way. There we go. Some discipline from that back Dorito player, making sure he's watching over his buddy. This front Dorito player, as you see, is shooting high on his bunker, trying to bait out some shots high. The only issue is if you're not going to challenge the shot after, you're just kind of wasting your paint. But now we see the middle wall guy for the Farm, again, trying to bait. Huge snake kill for TPP as he kills his mirror. This should be a huge move for him as he moves up to the center of the snake, possibly shooting out the back line. Shoot the middle guy. Huge play.
Great play.
Great job, TPP. Way to close out that point from the snake side. You know, that's the guy's still kind of tunnel visioning, shooting tons of paint. I think he thinks there's more people alive than there are. Sometimes that happens, but hopefully he doesn't have a hit from his player. You know, it's always the risk you run when you got one guy still going Rambo while you got 3 bodies alive around the dead box next to the buzzer. But
yeah, and where that point broke down really was the snake guy, his back guy, ended up dying there. And so that allowed the guy to fill into the snake, shoot the snake player, and then take the whole entire side. So once he got the snake player who was playing, which that was John. John, if you're listening, play the snake tighter. But he was playing a little bit too loose. Got clipped in the pack, and then the guy was able to go all the way down the snake and shoot all the rest of the players. So went from having that field position to losing it very quickly because the guy that was keeping them from getting that ground died. So
yep, it's really important that not only do you share information all the time, but especially really important information. And sometimes you don't have the luxury that if you've only got one guy who's really stopping, in this case, the snake, he dies with the most important piece of information, which is they're in the snake and they're pushing, you know?
Yep.
So, but as long as you're communicating constantly, you can usually tell when you lose a buddy of yours because he stops talking.
Yep.
So that usually gives you some kind of indication to switch guns. We're going to now start here with this Texas Titans being up 2-0 over Maui mixed plate as we have Titans on your screen again. Back center emphasizing the Dorito side. They're not very worried about wide snake plays. And it seems to be... Seems to be the case that they take a pretty conservative push up the middle.
Yep. So the only thing they risked here was it looked like they went to the Dorito corner, which they made it 5 alive.
I'd really like to start seeing, the teams need to be scouting which direction the back center player is moving.
Yep.
And it seems to be that both teams are shooting Dorito way from the back center. And if that's the case, man, I think I might risk a snake guy.
Yep.
They're not going to have more than one gun on you because the other snake guys run into his bunker. So it looks like now we have the Titans in front of your screen, pretty well distributed in terms of their guns. The Snakeside Juice Box looking on the inside, perhaps for that middle move from the Snakeside Wedge up to the 50, but he needs to kind of play heads up to own what's in front of him so that he can start applying snake pressure. But now we're seeing the Titans Dorito side heads up. This is a great angle. Good job there, NXL Paintball. I love the coverage. The production's been absolutely amazing this weekend. It looks like now we've got the Maui mixed plate in front of you as he makes a huge move from the corner into that Dorito.
The Titans just lost another guy, so the Titans are playing with 3 players right now. So this is huge for Maui mixed plate because they do need this. And then the Titans lose another player, so Maui really needs this point. And they only have 1 player left for the Titans. And there's a running ref as well. He's going to have to run a little bit further. Oh, and they get a minor. They're going to start down 1.
No, that's not. You don't want that when you're already losing the point. Getting a minor just is so bad for the next point. That is the way that Maui mixed play is probably going to catch up in this series because they score this point, going to the next point where Titans have 1 body down. It's a 5-on-4 situation. Yeah. Those are the mistakes that when you make those, you got to go home and talk about that. When you're already losing, you may as well have just thrown the towel before you scored that penalty because now you're really going to suffer the consequences that next game.
Yeah, and now you're giving Maui mixed plate back that momentum. You get ahead 2-0, which is one of the most dangerous places to be because the team is still in. They can still fight back, but you still are at that point where your team starts to get lax. They start to sit back. Okay, we've got it. And now that Maui has that, and now that it's a 4-on-5 at the next point, it's going to be huge.
Yep. That was a pretty unfortunate series of events that we just saw there. Now we're going to get into this next game as the Farm D4 and TPP 2.0 even up here 1-1 with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left. Still plenty of time. Both teams could easily break out conservatively and see who outplays each other in the mid game, which is in most cases where a lot of these points are won. We don't see very many kills coming off the break here, so be very curious to see. It looks like they're going to emphasize the snake way because we now have 2 guns looking snake from the middle guy looking that way. And just as I say that, the Farm is still able to get up to the middle with 2 bodies, one of the snake side wedge, the other one at the wall looking Dorito way. Lots of Dorito side pressure. Great angle here as you can see how teams have spread at the field. It doesn't look like the Farm has... Oh, excuse me, they do have a snake corner, and matched to that is the TPP snake corner. Looks like we're going to look at what the backline's doing here with 5 alive on either side so far. It seems to be that snake corner is a pretty safe move to make.
Yeah, especially for John getting out there really quick. And now they have the ability to go into the snake if they really want to, that they've made it to the corner alive 3 points in a row.
Yeah, I'd really like to see, they keep shooting that back center guy keeps looking Dorito way. But, man, if I knew they were making to the corner every time, I'd be telling my back center guy to shoot the snake corner.
Yep.
Looks like we're going to have a great angle here from the Farm looking Dorito way as that Dorito 1 player is trying to put it together and how he can move. That Dorito 1 to Dorito 2 move that you see is relatively safe as long as the back center and the center wall are not looking at you. So it would be nice to see him make that move given that I don't think the back center is really applying any pressure and they don't have anybody in that center wall. Looks like we're going to have... Nice responsive move from TPP to match the middle.
And they dink him out as he's running up there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that was the Dorito player who was looking cross for that move. So good job on him having eyes up, protecting his middle guys. Because, man, when you have 2 players in the middle and then they match you with only 1, you run that risk of that one guy taking out 2 players. So good job from the Farm to make sure they pluck out that guy as he tries to counterpunch the middle there. Coming down to 5 minutes and 41 seconds here in this game. Tied 1-1. Still plenty of ball left on the clock. It looks like TPP is trying to spread wide, as you're now seeing on your screen. The center wall looking Dorito way. And again, we've got a snake side wedge holding down the snake. So if you're TPP in this situation, I think you need to, I don't know, punch the middle. but not run through that Dorito gun again. You know, it's hard to know what to do in this situation. That's why you want to really kind of match those center punches off the break, because the longer the game goes, the much harder it is to do that.
Yeah, I think this Dorito corner guy for TPP has just been stuck in the back too long. Oh, and just as we're saying this, the farm guy gets dinked out going up to the center.
Yeah, that's a big loss for them. They had the Snake and Dorito locked down with those two players in that position, but now it forces number 2 on your screen here to move up from the corner up into that Snake insert, now being matched by TPP in a heads-up fight. The farm guy needs to probably put this guy in, otherwise this guy on your screen is going to move into that Snake here pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's got the ball.
Yeah, especially if he gets into there in that Snake and has some coverage from, it looks like the mini wall from TPP, but they're going to play it a little slower. I'm happy to see that. Put it together, find out where the bodies are, find out where they're looking. But as you can see, if you're in the Snake insert, you can get pinched out pretty fast from that wall. But now we see a huge move coming in.
There you go. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, getting into that Snake, crawling down to that Snake 2. Looking for those inside kills, which unfortunately on this layout, there's not really a ton that you can produce until you get to that 50, but he decides to retreat back instead, protecting himself, but I don't know if he knows. There, his middle player calls him and in fact kills him.
That was a great kill.
Looks like they're going to break out now to the Snake, maybe potentially surprise the farm Snake 1 player, but good on the farm for playing slow, making sure they find those bodies before they try to close out this point, giving them that 2-1 advantage, but we're still killing some time here. We've only got 3 minutes and 30 seconds almost left. And is that a towel that I just heard? No, it was the other field. Okay. What are you trying to do here if you're TPP, Matt?
I would have my center guy take the advantage here. I think that he has the room to go. And they've got 2 guys on the Doritos, so also the Doritos have a huge advantage here.
I believe it's a 4-on-2 situation in favor of the farm, and in my eyes, man, I think.
They're split too. They're looking 2 different ways.
Yeah, I'd probably call the towel here. I mean, the farm doesn't need to press the issue for quite a while. They could honestly burn more time in this 4-on-2 situation, only to score in the last, 60 seconds or so, as long as they don't run their bodies into gaps unnecessarily. Again, like you said, TPP is holding. Oh, there's 3 players alive. Okay, excuse me.
The farm just loses another player, so now it's a 3-on-2.
3-on-3, actually. We see there's a player. Oh, and just as I say that, the Dorito player dies. Now there's a huge gun battle going on the Snake side.
This is it. This is the move that needed to be made. Yep, the farm's going to take this one.
Wow, good job. What a tough game. That was a tough game 3 for both teams. Man, let's go. The farm getting pumped up after that. I'm pumped up, absolutely. Man, I hope you hear it in my voice. We're having some great games today.
Yeah, it's been awesome just watching these.
Yeah, wow, unbelievable. I mean, I saw just a little bit of the WNXL matches, two series before this, and those were some really good games too.
Yeah,
you
really
commentated
good.
those.
Yep, yeah. So the Heroines ended up taking down Dallas 5, which they lost in the prelims too. So that was a huge win for them. They also lost to them in Florida, so for them to come back and redeem themselves and make it into the finals was huge. And then Femme Fatales went down early to Destiny and just couldn't come back. But watching the fight in them to try and come back was huge, and it was so much fun to actually see them try to put together game plans and come back from being down by a huge deficit and try and get back. And they almost did. They ended up losing by 2, but I mean, they were down by 4 at one point. So,
way to crawl back in that series. I saw a little bit of that action. So, we're now going to have Titans on your screen here with 10 seconds to go, with 6 minutes and 9 overall in the series. They are up 2-1 against Maui Mixed Plate. Great overhead view. Let's hold this here as we see both teams breaking out off the start. We'll see which bodies they choose to risk. It looks like we're going to see Maui going out to the Dorito side corner living and otherwise matching up in that that Snake wedge. We losing a body. Oh no, that Snake wedge going.
And that's the Titans starting with 4.
Yeah, unbelievable kill for Maui Mixed Plate. If they're wanting to pull back from this deficit, that was the kill to make.
And Maui Mixed Plate also lost a player, so it's a 4-on-3 right now. Maui Mixed Plate still has the advantage. Oh, Maui Mixed Plate loses their back center, so now it's a 3-on-3.
Man, it is so important to not just get plinked out of your bunkers, especially in the backfield. You should have enough time to dodge paint that otherwise you should be controlling what's in front of you and being aware of what's coming towards you. That's an unfortunate mistake for Maui. Again, they're trying their hardest to win in a reasonable amount of time before they get this potential 3-1 deficit with less time. So
Titans have the ball here.
Absolutely. This snake player is going to town. He needs to be careful not to get a little too overzealous trying to find that snake side wedge player. Ooh, it looks like a huge move coming in from Titans as he tries to run down this player. Big play. That's the kind of play you need to see from your teammate, which now opens up for the snake.
We need the snake guy to start crawling.
Exactly. He's looking at the Dorito. I'm not sure who he's seeing that he's worried about pushing.
Go. That's it. This is going to win the match if he keeps going.
Not sure why he's stopping here. As you say, I know he can find the kills, but man, if you can get to their snake, you kill everybody for sure.
Yeah, just keep going. Just keep swimming, like Dory said.
He looks like he's stopping to pod here. The ball is absolutely in his court here. It's really a ticking time bomb so long as he doesn't make a mistake, but there's really no reason for him to stop and look. This is how you get yourself killed in a silly situation, when you are the one who's going to pull out the win for your teammate. What he needs to do is connect with the guy behind him. But now, as you see on your screen, number 22 getting really pinched out here, possibly killed. Going to get checked here by the ref. Oh, and as we see on your screen, the Dorito player breaking out wide. They've got a great pinch on this guy. They need to both not let up so this player can't get lost. That's the biggest thing in a 2-on-1 situation, is you need to connect with your teammate and make sure the guy doesn't break out without either people looking.
Yep, and it looks like this guy over here in the Dorito tower is wrapping low on the inside, so he is definitely exposed to that Dorito player.
Man, again,
and he got him.
He did chop him up. I believe that's the last player, but there might be a Dorito player left we're just not aware of.
Dorito player, I think.
Okay, so it was a 2-on-2 situation, but again, if you're in the snake like this, you go all the way and then pick up those kills.
He's won this match already if he had went all the way down and done this before.
This is where you potentially lose, when you lose that heads-up one-on-one and you're not communicating with your teammate. It's now a one-on-one situation with both players on opposite sides of the field. This is where games are lost, and he gets clipped on the loader. No! Titans lose the one-on-one. Unbelievable point for Maui. That went in their favor in every way it could.
Yeah. That was insane. That was great by the Maui guys to stay alive, stay in their bunkers, communicate, figure out where everyone's at, and just a bad job on the Titans not staying together.
Yeah, man. That, like you said, if the Titans snake player had gone all the way, they would have won that point.
Yep.
That is something that you will absolutely need to talk about when you go back home and watch the film. That's a really bad loss. That swings momentum for Maui going into that that fifth point here.
Yeah.
So, man, what excellent job from the NXL Paintball production staff. Thank you so much for getting all these awesome angles, helping our job, making our jobs real easy.
Yeah, it's amazing
to commentate this. So
free live paintball. Who would have thought?
Man,
it's amazing.
2022. I'm excited for 23.
Yep, especially for World Cup. I mean, this is it. This is the big tournament that everybody comes to. There's 95 D4 teams. Or 96, somewhere around there. But
that's amazing. Hey, and if you're watching this live home right now, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to tell your friends, tell your family, pump up the stream. We got some awesome games going on right now. We're now going to head into this next series with TPP 2.0. 1 point to the Farm D4's 2 with 2 minutes and 24 seconds left. Again, we're going to pay attention to which direction the home player is looking. It looks like he's emphasizing the Dorito side, kind of jamming up that way. And as I say that, we've got two players running at the middle, covering both Snake and Dorito side for TPP. Now both players at the wall, really hard situation to break, and it's being matched almost by the Farm. So we've got a center wall player looking Dorito away. And just as I say that, TPP running through, killing players, nobody's stopping him. Man, that's a situation that you got to be very careful about not to get a penalty in this situation. Unbelievable chaos, man. And we get another run through from TPP, plucking out the Farm's middle player, and now their corner player, who would have potentially protected that move, is getting paint checked with his gun up in the air. That's an unfortunate timing to be checked. And he
is the last one alive. He is the last line of defense.
Oh, man. And he didn't plug out the player as he's making a move. Why are you looking out? Heads up. You now just die for free. No. If you're going to look heads up in that situation with you being the only body left, you got to head check it while you keep that inside zone control. Otherwise, exactly what just happened is going to happen.
Yep.
Oh, that is an unfortunate loss for them. But, hey, this is a heck of a series as we go 2-2.
And to his credit, that happened very fast.
True.
And he had no clue who was on the field still. So I'm assuming that he probably thought that there was still somebody alive on his team.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when chaotic situations happen, in my opinion, the best thing you can do is just control what you already have control of.
Yep.
Keep control of that, and then gain the intel you need. Don't drop it to find the information. You know, like I said, even just a quick hop over the top might have given him enough to know that there was nobody coming to run him down on the snake side tape.
Yep.
You know, and if that's the case, then you've got some more time to try and shoot that guy, because that guy ran through 2 big gaps.
Yes,
you know, if he kills that player, maybe it's a 1-on-2 situation. I wasn't sure how many players were left for TPP, but that's an unfortunate way to go out on that point. But good for them for tying the series. We're now going to go into mixed Maui plate, who is tied 2-2 with Texas Titans with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left. Well, it looks like the center player is going to be looking Dorito way, potentially up the middle like we've seen most points. He might even be emphasizing his gun-looking snake as he does so, but let's see. They opt for a relatively conservative breakout with the exception of risking the snake corner, which they do make it alive. I believe it's 5 alive for either team. And now the Titans are getting a little more aggressive. They did not like that last point and how it went down, so they're looking for bodies quickly here in this game.
Yeah, hopefully they had some good info coming back into the pits telling them what they had to fix, and now they're out here trying to fix it.
Yeah, man, that's, again, the momentum is so important in paintball, and sometimes you can use that momentum in your favor, and sometimes you can, unfortunately, use it as kind of an ego-aggressive thing, and you don't. You die silly, so you got to be careful. You got to find that balance, but we're going to see the mixed Maui Dorito player trying to find that puzzle again to move up, and now we're checking out the snake corner for mixed Maui as they're trying to put together where the bodies are. In my opinion, you're really only trying to figure out where some of the wide guys are, because you can relatively assume where everybody else is. You know, these have been the same breakouts we've seen all weekend long.
And the Titan center guy gets peeled out.
Did he get shot in the window?
Yes, he did. He was standing up tall, and the refrigerator player for the snake for Maui mixed plate. Oh, and a minor for the Titans. They have 1 player left.
Oh, man, and just as we talked last series, the weather making the ground a little slippery. Depending on how new your cleats are, man, you get a penalty there and you try to fill out wide and slip. That is a bad series of events in that situation. Yep. But, hey, just as we said, Maui's got the momentum, you know. They just won a really close game the point before. They now win this point pretty convincingly off of a penalty. Man, they're probably feeling good going into that next game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so that's the thing that I said, is that you give the team the ability to come back. You end up going back on your heels, sitting back, thinking you have the lead, and now it's tied.
Yeah, man, that's I hope that they can recover from that mentally, if for no other reason than the sake of the series, man. I would love to see this go back tied up. But now we're going to go into this next series with the Farm and TPP tied up. If you're in this situation, are you risking anything, or are you just going to play conservative and play off of that?
With 1:30, I think since you sent the snake corner 3 points in a row, I would go to the snake insert, and I wouldn't change anything else besides that.
Yeah, it's hard because the center player on both teams are looking Dorito way, so it's hard to make any sort of aggressive move that side. But you almost feel like, yeah, there you go. Look at that. We get, just as you predicted, a snake insert move off the break done very cleanly.
And they lose their Dorito corner. So they send a Dorito corner and a guy into Dorito 1.
Man, what a perfect shot that we just captured on screen as that can player tries to look in the inside and get plucked
and they
out.
Lose another one, so it's a 3-on-4.
3-on-4 situation.
But this snake player right here has all the momentum, and he can literally go all the way down to their side of the field if he wants to. He's got everything he needs. Oh, shoots the home player.
Man. Oh, I'm not sure if our clock is wrong on the screen here. I just heard 60 seconds come
It is
from
60 seconds, but look at the snake player doing exactly what we talked about, going all the way to their snake, and now look. He's going to win them this point right here.
If it is, in fact, tied, which I'm pretty sure it is, then the Farm has the ball. They need to score this point if they want to guarantee their place in the finals here.
Yep, and that's a good move. That's a good move by TPP to call the towel. Save some time.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so it looks like they have about 45 seconds left for TPP 2.0.
I would say about that.
The Farm is up by 1 now.
Yeah, man. Unbelievable. Well, I mean, good move for them to, I mean, that's a lot of confidence in your players to throw in the towel in that situation with about probably, like you said, 45 seconds left. Man, what do you do if what do you do in that situation or at the next point? You got to take a big bite, right?
Yeah.
Go big or go home.
So we haven't seen much aggression out of TPP here. We haven't seen many risk, whereas we've seen a lot with the farm, which gave them a lot more room to make changes. Whereas now it's kind of predictable as what TPP is going to try and do. They're either going to send a corner or a snake, so you can dedicate 2 guns to that. As far as the Doritos go, you have a lot of different options. But if I was them, I would be shooting for the Dorito corner just to keep them from getting wide. And if anything goes below it, you have people that can stop that.
Yeah, man, I see a lot of teams sending the Dorito corner, so it's hard to, something we talked about this weekend is if you can get a guy to that Dorito corner alive, you pull the guns up, and then you can dive under that, sending a guy to the Dorito 2 off the break. But if you've been sending a guy Dorito corner every point, man, that's not safe anymore.
No, it's not safe.
You probably need to pull up short on the Dorito side. And I've been liking what I've been seeing on the snake when people take those bites. I'd love to see that big, deep inside snake route where people run up the middle using that snake side wedge to blind out and then dive into the snake. Again, with the middle player looking Dorito away most of the time, I feel like teams should be doing that.
Yes. Yep. I agree, and especially the timing on it. If the guy is shooting the snake side going up there, when he does do that transition up to the brick, is when you can go through that zone, which is when most likely his lane is off or his gun is down.
Yep. So we're going to have Titans here on your screen. It looks like they might be doing some kind of snake emphasis or pressure. So it looks like we're going to have 1 minute and 59 seconds here, possibly, I think is the confirmation on the time that we just got here. Looks like we have 2 guns looking snake way as a player. Going up the middle looks Dorito.
Maui loses a player. Titans make it 5 alive.
Titans now in relatively conservative positioning, despite the fact the breakout had a lot of guns up. Good for them. That's a great breakout on your screen here. Now we see Maui on your screen, as you said, down 1 body, 4 to 5. Now lots of movement coming from Titans. They're going to possibly look to double up the middle here, as they've been doing, I think, most of the series, and having quite a bit of success. Snake player going to try to put a lot of pressure to get into that snake. They've been having a lot of success doing so. So we'll see if they're able to do that here in the last few minutes of this series. Looks like we've got a lot of crossfield action going on here with the snake corner. I'm not sure that's the play. I mean, obviously you want to protect the Dorito push, but I feel like the Mini W is the guy to do that. You need to be playing heads up to stop them from getting into the snake.
Yeah, and he kind of throws his body away there.
Ooh,
Which is really unfortunate. I mean, they're down by 1, so they have to push it, but you want to be organized in this and you want to work with your team.
Yeah, man. If you're Titans in this situation, you got less than 60 seconds left. That's as much time as you have left to win and make it to the finals here. You don't need to make this snake move if you don't have to. But it looks like he's still poised to do it, and Maui needs to do something. They need to push the issue. They're down bodies, it looks like, or maybe they're.
No, Maui is up. Oh, Maui loses. It's a 3-on-3 now. The Titans player gets in the snake, but Maui does have a snake corner. Although he's not getting the info.
He's been looking inside all game. I'm not sure why. Even the Dorito tower is not enough to stop him from getting into the snake and pushing up. At this point, now we see the snake corner shooting heads up to stop this advance, which now forces the ball to either be in the middle or into the Dorito, and we see a huge middle move coming up from Titans as he goes to run down. Did he get anybody? Okay, he got at least 1. Good job on Titans for being able to pluck out the Dorito tower. And that is the game. So I must be wrong on the score then.
Yes, Maui ended up taking it by 1, 3-2.
Okay. Good for them, man. Congratulations.
Man, and you could tell these guys are excited.
Absolutely. I mean, congratulations.
Punching their way into finals.
Good job. Apologies to those at home. I was a bit confused in the score, but congratulations to Maui for 37 seconds at 2-2 going into this next series between the Farm and TPP. In this situation, you really just don't want to get a penalty.
No. Yeah.
I imagine both teams are probably hoping to get it to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So good job to Maui, as you guys can hear probably at home. Lots of excitement coming in from them, punching in, as you said, their ticket to the finals. We're going to get down here into the last 10 seconds of regular time potentially. Again, both teams cannot risk a penalty. Go out on bounces. You just got to wait a few more seconds before the series goes into overtime.
Oh, wow.
They're making huge 3 people up the middle for TPP. You got to be so careful not to pull penalties. There's still more players punching up the middle for TPP, trying to dig players out. They are wanting this win.
Oh, wow.
Holy
and we
cow.
are seeing this. They might take it.
Unbelievable moves from TPP. They're able to press the buzzer as long as he does not have a hit on him.
What just happened?
They just punched their ticket to the finals. As long as he doesn't have a hit on him, they may have just sealed the deal. I'm not sure exactly how much time is left, but I am blown away. I would not have thought we would have seen such a risky move in the last few seconds of this regular time set, and it looks like...
And they get the thumbs up.
Point is approved.
Wow.
Congratulations.
That is crazy. Now the next question is, how much time is left on the clock? How much time does the farm have to try and put something together?
Man, I don't know. It can't possibly be that much.
It can't be much.
If it's less than 10 seconds, I don't think they play it. Is that right? I'm not exactly sure. At least I know teams are usually asked if they want to play anything less than 10 seconds, at least has been the case in my experience. But we'll see how much time we have left. How much do we have going into that again?
37 seconds.
37 seconds. I mean, how fast do you think that point was?
Max 20.
Okay, yeah. I mean, they've got to have 12 seconds at most, I would imagine.
And who would have thought that with the game tied, that they would do something that crazy?
Man, I would not have thought that. If I was their coach, I probably wouldn't have done that. But you know what? I love to see the trust that coach had in their players.
Yep.
To make that call, because it may have potentially cost, won them their ticket to the finals. So unbelievable here. It looks like they are going to be talking it over with the refs, figuring out what exactly happened, as it seems like there was a lot of chaos going on in the middle. I mean, again, TPP sending 3 players up the middle, back to back to back. And while that was happening, they sent a Dorito guy all the way down to the corner that after that chaos was settled was able to close out the game. So it looks like they're going to confirm what we've already known. Red flag called. I believe that's on TPP as the farm is going crazy in the pits. Unbelievable. That's the reason that you do not run 3 people down the middle with less than 60 seconds left. I can't believe they just scored a major penalty, which is, as you know, an automatic swing point in favor of the farm. So here we were thinking TPP just scored their ticket. But now it's the farm who is up by 1 point in the series. I'm not sure exactly how many seconds we have left, if we're even going to get another game. We'll find out here in just a minute, as it looks like the head ref is talking to the TPP pit as they're explaining to them the decision that they've made. So, man, again, I can't believe that they would make that play. Is that are you going to make that play as a coach?
So I thought about it sitting in the pits. What do you think those guys are talking about to each other? They're like, do we send it or do we try and dig it out and go into overtime? And to be honest, watching them play, I would have given it to the farm if I had just watched them play the first four points. And so for TPP sitting there saying, who's going to win the long game if we go into overtime? Who's going to win 5-on-5? And they probably looked at themselves and said that we might be able to capitalize on the chaos. So
that's a good point.
That was probably what went through their heads, because, in my opinion, watching those first 4 matches, even though it was 2-2, I think the farm was the better team playing it, taking the opportunities when they had them. Whereas sometimes we were watching the TPP guys, hey, you got this, you got to go, and they just weren't taking it. So I think from a standpoint of that way, it's like it's time to capitalize on the chaos. They might be in motion doing something when we can take it. So
yeah, absolutely. Like I said, as a coach, I'm not sure I would have made that call, but you make a good point that the farm did look a little bit more methodical in their approach to this series, that I'm pretty sure TPP was seeing the writing on the wall as well. And if you can cause that much chaos and not get a penalty doing so, those are how you win those crazy games. Yeah. But unfortunately, they're getting the flag thrown. So it looks like we're getting confirmation. Looks like, it is race to 4 here for D4. I forgot about that. So if that is the case, it looks like it is over Let's hear. Gross major called on TPP as they push up the middle. Hang on, folks. We're finding out exactly what happened here. Again, thank you so much to our sponsors, and thank you so much for tuning in live on the NXL Paintball broadcast on both YouTube and Facebook. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Please be sure to like and follow everywhere where NXL Paintball and WNXL Paintball lives, which is on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Be sure to follow them. Thank you again so much to the staff, to the refs, for the production. I believe that's it here. I think we just won, or just saw who was going to make it to the finals for Division 4. So congratulations to the teams that made it. Yep. Matt, it's been an absolute pleasure here.
It's been awesome, man. I love it.
It's, coming out to these events is just hanging out with your buds and watching paintball, you know?
That's what it is. You see the same people all around the world at the same places 4 times, 5 times, 6 times a year thanks to the NXL, so it's awesome.
Yep. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to send you off to a commercial break, but have a good one, and we'll see you soon.